What is up, guys, and welcome to the very first episode of my team of F1 22. We're around the block again. It seems only yesterday that I was doing F1 2021, and of course, with the new Champions Edition of F1 22 has come out, we're going to be doing our first episode of my team. Why did I forget already? So we've got the choice of being a newcomer, which means you get 0 resource points, or 0 resources, no facility upgrades, and absolutely no cash. So that's what we're going. We're going with the newcomer. We're going to do the long season. We're going to do the full season. We will have some assists off. Driver moves, facility management, is something that we'll do. Pit stop experience, we're going to keep that immersive. Safety cars will always be increased. Safety car we'll just keep on for now. We're going to do some formation laps. Last year you didn't really see many formation laps. We're going to do 100% AI or 100 AI difficulty. We might lower that at some point if things get a little out of control. But that's the settings that we're going with. Let's go into HQ now and get our... hang on. We've got my team icons. We're going to use those, but because we're bat marker, we're not going to get the chance.
Welcome to my team. Here you'll experience the world of Formula One, not only as a driver, but as the owner of a brand new F1 team. First things first, let's create your driver.
Okay then, so let's get started. I didn't even get to finish what I was saying. Our avatar from last year is in the game again this year. I swear that guy looks almost like me. Putting out our name in. Unfortunately, my first and surnames weren't in the game, unfortunately. So we're going to go with our nickname from last year, which is Skip. We're going to be in the number 88 this year.
And now, let's focus on your driver's look.
So we're going with the number 88, as I said last year. I did hesitate a little bit what other numbers I wanted to choose. I did have a couple of other numbers in mind, 56 especially being one of them. 56, 34 and 88 were the three choices that were in my mind. But yeah, I've decided to stick with the 88 like I did last year, and hopefully we can replace that with the number 1 at some point during this career mode journey. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. If you haven't, if you're watching my videos for quite a while, make sure you literally smash that subscribe button, and it'll really do me really well. So we're playing around with the helmet, the suits. Hopefully the suits will give you a bit of an indication of what kind of livery colors are going to look like. We're keeping with the yellow and black, just like last year, only because there's no Renault is no longer in the game, and I would like to have some yellow back on the grid, especially when you can see through the mini-map. So hopefully that gives you an indication of what the livery is going to look like.
Great. Now let's set up some of the key details of your new team. We'll start with an easy one. What name would you like to give the team?
Same from last year. We're going to keep CG Motorsport as our name, because honestly, I couldn't think of anything else.
Nice. Now, some kind of income stream is critical, so we need to sign a primary sponsor. Our primary sponsor will pay a signing bonus to the team up front. This is vital to cover the early investments we need to make. They will also provide valuable weekly income for us. Each sponsor has a goal they want the team to achieve. If we hit that goal, the sponsor will pay us an additional goal bonus.
Okay, so this is where we have to make a serious decision. One thing I do want to think about is money. So I do want to have some left over to maybe do a facility upgrade on one of the departments. So I think we're looking at Echo or Xenon as a sponsor, as a major sponsor. But I think in the end we went with Echo, which is achieved 2 points finishes, which I reckon is pretty achievable.
Fantastic. Now we've got a budget to work with. Our car won't be going anywhere fast without a power unit. So, let's sign a power unit supplier now. We need both performance and durability from our power unit. but we also need to balance the books. We're going to have a lot of other areas to invest our cash into.
So this is where I wanted to make a careful choice. I did want to try Mercedes or Ferrari, but in the end, we went with the Red Bull powertrains, which is something that is questionable, but I went with it anyway.
We almost have all the key partners for our team now, but we still need a teammate for you. These are the drivers available to be your first teammate. They all have their own strengths and weaknesses, so consider everything when deciding who to hire. Drivers earn acclaim based on their performances. When a driver earns enough acclaim, they will level up. The higher a driver's level, the more acclaim they will earn for their current team. And remember, the faster the team levels up, the faster our income will increase.
Yes! Oscar Piastri is an immediate choice that we are going to take. Sometimes you may not get the teammate that you want, but thankfully, we got him straight away.
Looks like we can afford this power unit supplier and teammate. Go ahead and confirm if you're happy.
Yep, I am pretty happy. Just with the Red Bull powertrains, I did hesitate a little bit to maybe go Renault, save about 6 mil cash. I just had to play around with sponsors, engine suppliers, but I think we went with Echo and the Red Bull powertrains.
Let's create the livery we'll be running this season. We can add more sponsors to the car as we sign them throughout the year. And don't worry, we can edit our look at any time from HQ.
So yeah, we're taking a bit of a gamble with the Red Bull powertrains. Hopefully it doesn't bite us in the ass too many times this season, and hopefully we can get through the season without too many DNFs. So I'm just going to basically show you the car livery, or the liveries that we chose. It felt like I was literally playing with these liveries for ages. Just looking at the liveries, playing around, see what kind of livery looks good on the car. And I reckon this one, the other one you just saw, it struck me, but also the Aston Martin looking livery, this one here. We've taken out the green, we've gone with black, and I really like it.
Last but not least, we need to consider our brand, our badge, and team colours.
So the badge, I think, was the same from last year. I was hoping that the same emblem would be in the game, and thankfully it was. As you can see right there, making one circle black and making the other one yellow, and just put and of course the emblem, or the background behind, which is the shield. Not that kind of shield. The other one. That were coming out, yeah, that kind of shield, and making it almost the same as everything else. And I'm really happy with the look at the car, the team, the suits, and I'm very grateful that Oscar Piastri was an available choice immediately. So I'm pretty happy with what we've got. I'm extremely excited to get this season underway. Hopefully we're not the worst team in the field, and hopefully we can get off to a good start. Maybe make a couple of Q2 appearances if possible. But that's all the details that we've done. Let's go to Will Buxton, who is waiting for us at our new HQ.
Hello folks, and welcome to this, a very special edition of Paddock Pass. We're here at the headquarters of Formula One's newest team for an exclusive first look at what they will be bringing to the sport. It's always an exciting moment to welcome a new team onto the grid. However, what makes this occasion a little more special is how strikingly different the cars are this year. Yep, the long-awaited new regulations are finally here, and with them, the start of the next era of Formula One. The 2022 season ushers in a change of direction to the regulations aimed at promoting closer racing, with new aero additions in the form of swooping front and rear wings, along with the new eye-catching 18-inch low-profile tyres that will push tyre technology to the limit. So then, the question remains as to whether this team can grasp the opportunity before them with both hands and lead the charge against the rest of the paddock. We'll find out soon enough, as the new season is just about to begin. But first, let's see the unveiling of the team's car and meet the owner of the brand new Formula One team. Well, first of all, thanks so much for inviting us here today. It's been wonderful to see behind the scenes. As you might expect, I've got about 1 million questions, so let's jump straight in. It's been a long time since we last saw a team owner take their own car onto the track, and the sport's changed enormously in the intervening years. How are you going to handle the responsibilities of both managing and driving for a Formula One team?
So basically, it's the same questions from F1 2021. The first couple were about myself, the team, and Oscar Piastri. This question is about Oscar, and the next few were about the facilities. Now, this is where we have to make some serious decisions. I wanted to try and balance it out as much as possible. I was aiming more towards aero, chassis, and powertrains. Didn't really give our durability much. I probably could have done that because we've seen what's happened with the Red Bull powertrains so far this season, or especially in Bahrain. So ultimately, that does prove to be a worry for me. So now we've done aero, chassis, and powertrain for the first three, and I think we did chassis for this last one.
Well, thank you so much for your time. It's been wonderful to get an insight from you, and of course to see around the headquarters. Thank you for today. Really appreciate it, and thank you all at home for watching as well. We'll see you very soon.
Thank you, Will, and welcome, guys, to the HQ. So yeah, this is unreal. We're finally at HQ. We can now do an activity timeline. We're going to put Oscar through a driver training camp. It'll boost all of his driver statistics, his experience, racecraft awareness, and pace. Experience is probably one I can probably up already, because he's got a lot of talent. We've seen him being the Formula 4 champion, the F3 champion, and of course he's the reigning F2 champion. So that's why I wanted to get him on board, almost like what I did with Nick DeVries on F1 2020. Of course, you guys didn't even see that because I didn't even have a proper gaming setup. I only had an Xbox and a downstairs to play on. So we've gone with giving the chassis department that gold star. So that's already on level 1 of everything. Apparently, weight reduction is the strongest upgrade that you can do on this game, and I think that's what we're going to go with. But apparently neither of them got an upgrade, which is pretty surprising. So I think we're going to do one of those upgrades. Any of those two weight reduction or weight redistribution upgrades will get on in the time for Bahrain. That's what I was hoping for. We can do one of them, and I think we are going to do weight reduction. Any other upgrades that we do will should go on in time for Saudi Arabia, which will be the next episode. So already you can see the changes from last year. The first couple of rounds were Bahrain and Imola. Now we're going straight from Bahrain to Saudi Arabia, which was the second last race in F1 2021, which unfortunately we won't get to see in the rest of F1 2021. Sorry. So as you can see, we're not the worst car. We are the way that that was the R&D graph was set up was from what we saw in Bahrain. So McLaren were the third or fourth fastest car at the start of last year, but now they are completely nowhere, and that's just based off of what we all saw at the start of this year. Driver perks are a thing now, a thing again just like last year. We've already done an upgrade to the power mapping, which means we get less wear through the engine, and that's something that I was pretty much wanting to target straight away. So we've done that. Now we've unlocked the My Team icons, so we've got the likes of Michael Schumacher, Ayrton Senna, Alan Prost, Jacques Villeneuve, he's a new one that wasn't in last year. Jenson Button was in last year. Nico Hulkenberg, one of them. David Coulthard, Felipe Massa, and Mark Webber. Mark Webber is and My Team icon. He can definitely be one to keep an eye on, and I've already got my eye on him. George Russell, he's a fair way down for a car that was meant to be the fastest car. To be honest, I feel really bad for George. He's waited so long. Well, he's had 3 patient years at Williams to finally be in a championship-winning car, and that car is not even performing like any of us thought it would from pre-season testing. So we're getting Oscar through the driver training camp, which is now complete. New batch of weekly resource points have come in. We've already got a rear downforce upgrade on the car. That's gonna help us a little bit, and now we're gonna get a front downforce upgrade on for Australia. I did think about it a little bit. Minor weight redistribution, probably a little too early to do one maybe, but of course any upgrade that we can do would be vital. Engine power for Australia, yeah, I'd say Australia has turned into a more of a power track, especially in the back half of the circuit, because the old 9 and 10 chicane was taken out. So I think definitely Australia has turned more into a power track, I'd say. So we're going to do a front downforce upgrade, which we'll get on in time for that race, and now we're going to go into Bahrain for the first weekend, and already we've had a part not go on the car, and that was weight reduction. That could have been a brilliant early upgrade that's gone on. Level 1 for the facilities in the chassis department, and they've already let us down. Thankfully, we can get that on for Saudi Arabia. It will make the car lighter and definitely a lot faster through the corners. So would have been nice to have on this weekend, but Saudi is also a good track to bring that upgrade on, I'd say, because it's so fast, it's so twisty, and I think that's definitely a good track to get an upgrade on, I would say.
Found your workstation then? Everything satisfactory? I'm Francisco, by the way. I head up R&D for the team. It's great to have a chance to finally speak with you, and I'm sure we'll be getting to know each other pretty well over the coming months. But for now, I'll let you get settled. Welcome aboard.
Thank you, Francisco, and welcome aboard our team, taking over from Pierre from last year. If you guys don't remember, Pierre was our R&D guy from last year as well. Again, still no cutscenes though. I would have loved to have some cutscenes back into this year's game. That's not the case, so we're just going to move on onto the weekend now. Going into practice, I'm hoping that the car doesn't feel too rubbish. I'm hoping that whatever upgrades are on the car will do, whether it's anything from the powertrain or the rear downforce that's on. I'm not sure if anything is going to work for us this time. Before we actually came to this weekend, McLaren did catch us ever so slightly. I'm not so sure how far exactly they were behind us, but yeah, they caught up to us just before this race weekend. Hopefully it doesn't affect us too much. Hopefully we get both cars close to Q2 with some stinking laps, and hopefully it's enough to maybe get us a good result in our first race.
Hey mate, this is Mark. Just wanted to say thanks for trusting me as your race engineer. I won't let you down. The car's ready to go, but it's brand new of course, so there may be a few issues here and there. We'll be keeping a close eye on all the data from here.
Thank you, Mark, and welcome aboard our team. As you guys know from last year, Jeff is no more. We've said goodbye to Jeff, and we've said hello to Mark Priestley. He used to be an engineer at McLaren, I believe. So everything's changed in F1 22, and I'm loving these changes. These new cars, stone cold hard tires as well. They could be an issue to get up to temperature in the race, but we got them up to temperature in time to start. A bit of a cruiser lap this first lap. Just did a little cruisy, 325k an hour at the speed trap. That is lightning quick at the speed trap. Of course that will improve as the weekend progresses. For going through the SS, braking very early, just taking it nice and easy through this first lap. We are going to get a bit of an indication of what the car actually is going to look like once we find a good enough setup on the car. These setups, they're not going to be as perfect as as F1 20 as we got towards the end of F1 2021 of the game's life cycle. But the deeper we go into the game, the faster we are going to get with new setups, and that 138 point whatever is a very lightning quick time. Now we're just getting into the practice programs. This one was a tyre wear test, and I tell you what, I am very surprised on how I'm driving, even though I missed the apex at turn 8. I was very surprised on how much we're looking after the tyres. But as you can see, we are going to be leaning a lot. You just watch the graph just come down, go slightly back up, but just come straight back down. That's how much we were leaning on the tyres, and we might be leaning on the tyres through 13 and 14 throughout the whole race. As you can see, the graph just come down, probably went a little bit too deep and into the last quarter, probably used us a little too much of the tyres. But we do go into the purple patch. We did that, did the tyre wear test in the very first lap, and that was all good. But however, from the race strategy and the qualifying programs onwards, I literally struggled. Like, honestly, I just did not find any pace whatsoever. And even though I pushed the second lap of the race run, I just couldn't find any improvement. The only improvement I was finding was using my battery on the straights. That was literally it. And as you can see in the qualifying test that I'm doing heading into turn number 4, you just watch the delta through the middle sector, and you guys just see how much time we lose through the little S's. Around we go. Just have a look at that delta. It's kind of steady, but once we get out of turn 8, you just watch the delta just skyrocket upwards. Look at how much time we're losing. We've already lost 3-4 tenths from turn 4 onwards. Turn 10, I feel like I can never take too much pace. As soon as you get on top of the curb on the outside, you are literally going to be a goner. And look at that, from turn 4 all the way down to turn 10, we've lost a second out of that. But we did find some bit more time. We found 7 seconds from our first run, which puts us in P12 in the end. A lot of the other midfielders doing not really a qualifying run, but using the hards and the medium, so that would be one of the reasons why. Good batch of resource points to come in, so we can probably get that weight reduction upgrade rectified, and maybe we can probably think about some other upgrades that we can potentially do. These upgrades early on in this season are going to be vital to see if we could get any closer to the midfield teams, because even though we're only the 4th worst car, I reckon it's pretty important to get these upgrades on, build some momentum as we fight our way towards the top. But yeah, all in all, I think that was a good session in practice, and of course there's still more time to find once we get the proper running in during the darkness, which will be qualifying. So we'll be waiting on that, and we'll be getting some a bit of a better read on what the car setup's going to feel like, whether we need to do any changes or whether it's the perfect setup to use. But I think because Bahrain's such a power track, we probably don't even need much downforce. Bit hesitant to do a engine power upgrade, but I don't think that happened in the end. So let's go to qualifying then. So here we go then for the first qualifying session of the brand new game. Different theme. It's got the F1 theme running during the quali intro. Last year was a different intro, but again, everything has changed. Just watching Oscar through his first lap, and it's good enough for P7 on his first run, but I wouldn't imagine that would remain the same as he drops down to P19 as everyone did their laps, and we are about to do ours. So sort of the same from F1 2021, just going out all alone, fresh track, fresh air all around us, and getting a nice clean lap in, hopefully. First laps in quali aren't always clean again. Just like getting up on top of the curb, making the car unstable and missing the apex at turn 10, that's that's a reason why we are not quite good during our first lap. But yeah, this lap, it's okay, but it's not really that great. It was a little bit scruffy. It didn't quite take the last turn as I would have wanted. 31.3. I think that's around about the time that we did in practice one. So we come back into the pits. I did try a cool down lap and a push lap. That didn't really do anything. We come back to the pit lane with 4 minutes to go, but somehow there's literally 2 minutes to go in qualifying or in Q1, and now everyone's halfway around their warm-up. Like, we need to get it out very quickly if we're going to have any chance of making Q2. Look at that, as everyone is coming around, we literally have to get a wriggle on now. As we've got 90 seconds left in this session. It takes about 90 seconds to do a lap around here, and now we are going to have to get a wriggle on. The ICE is already at 17%. Engine wear is insane. And I could have sworn I was doing the power mapping as by 10%, which means reduced time. Oh, Oscar's made a mistake on his run as well. Everything is going wrong for us. 5 seconds, 4, 3. Do we get to the line in time to start our flying lap? We do, but only just. Now we're getting some slipstream from Oscar. He goes to the outside, we move to the inside, which is not ideal because that will ruin our run up the main straight through turns 2 and 3. Literally nothing to be gained unless you hug the inside dramatically, which we don't. And now we've got both cars dead last. Yeah, pretty much second and dead last. So run through turn 10 was a bit better. I was hoping to find a bit more time through 10, but yeah, the first half of the lap just wasn't that great. Hopefully we can make up some time in the second half of this lap through 11, 12, 13 and 14. Leaning on the tyres a little bit through 14. Bit more curb than what I used in the first run, and that was enough to good enough to get us to find more time. Through the last couple of corners, went in very deep. We missed the apex, we've run a little wide. That ruins our run, and well, I reckon it's going to be dead last. Where are we? At the end of our first run, or our final lap, dead last. So both cars are dead last, literally at the back at the end of Q1. So not the result that me and Oscar wanted. Yeah, that's pretty disappointing. Yeah, I mean, when I went back into the garage after my first run, there was like 4 minutes to go, and so I thought, in order to save a bit more time, I'll just go to the pause menu and just return to the garage, thinking it's not a problem, I've done it before. But literally, how does it take 2 minutes to get the car on the jacks and back into the garage? That takes like 30 seconds, if not less. Well, it is what it is. Time to go to the race for the very first time in these brand new cars, and let's see what we can make up in this race. Ideally, top 15 would be pretty good.
Months of rumour and speculation all come to an end today as we return to racing for the opening event of what promises to be an enthralling season. Welcome along then to round 1 of this year's Formula One World Championship. We'll be racing around 3.36 miles of the magnificent Bahrain International Circuit today. Keep an eye out for drivers locking the front left down into the tricky braking zone of turn 10. Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Sainz, Perez, George Russell and Hamilton, Fernando Alonso, Ocon, Bottas and Yuki Tsunoda, Mick Schumacher, Magnussen, Pierre Gasly and Norris, Joe, Vettel, Lance Stroll and Daniel Ricciardo, Albon, Latifi, Oscar Piastri and Skip. With preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track. A new new season then a clean slate where anything could happen. Anthony Davidson is with me today as once again we get another year of Formula One underway.
We're into those tense few minutes before the first race then. Everyone's a little bit nervous about reliability. They haven't been running in the hot, turbulent wake of other cars in practice, and they've not been pushing at 100% for long durations. Let's hope no one has to deal with any nasty surprises.
First race of the season, and unfortunately we're at the back of the grid, but let's show the team what you can do from here.
Thank you, Mark, and let me see what you are capable of in your first race. Welcome, guys, to the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix. 50% races, mediums to hards. Now, from what I've seen in other people's career modes, the hards take quite a while to get up to temperature, because when you leave the pits on any tyre, they are literally stone cold. You have to get them up to temperature yourselves. You can't just go back onto the track and just go full pace. So I think in this first race, we're going to try something a little different. We're going to go into the hard compound tyres, and we're going to finish the race strong on the mediums. Now, we might need a safety car to potentially help us there, because the hards are going to take a while to come into effect. They probably won't even come to effect grip wise until about lap 9, 10 or whatever, when other people are going to start to feel the effects of tyre wears. Onto the formation lap now for the very first time. So the tyres aren't too bad as long as we can keep them in a normal operating temperature, so maybe like mid 80s, close to the 90 degrees. Then hopefully we can get a good start on these hard tyres. The hards are never easy to get off to a good start. Everyone's always wanting to use the softer compounds, but I thought in this first race we're not a championship contender. We're sort of semi at the back. Well, in the performance index anyway. We might as well just try something different and see if it pays off in this first race, and if it doesn't, at least we know what we can do. Getting a little bit close for comfort with Oscar. And this is the new feature, manual grid slots. This is something that we're going to do for the first couple of episodes, for the first round of episodes, and maybe we'll go to something different.
No threat of rain for the time being. Conditions look good.
Thank you, Mark. Did you not even read the forecast? No rain is due into our grid slot. A few extra meters to spare, but that doesn't matter as we get ready. 5 red lights ahead of these new generation cards. It's lights out and away we go. Great start, great initial launch on the hard compound tyres, but that second phase is not great. The cars have ridiculous straight line speed up the inside of as many cars into turn number 1 for the first time, touching with Sebastian Vettel and touching with Daniel Ricciardo as well coming on. And now we rear-ended it. Everyone's checking up in front of me, and so we're in P19 at the exit of turn 3. Now we've got Nicholas Latifi going up our inside. The car, wow, that car is a handful to get around, and that's because the fronts are stone cold. The fronts have already lost temperature, and then now we're wide at the we come on go to the track right in front of Nicholas Latifi, and he's lost his front wing. Latifi's lost his front wing courtesy of us going wide because our tyres are nowhere near up to temperature. Let's just look at the replay. To be honest, that was probably a bit dangerous for me, but the tyres were stone cold. I literally had no control of the car because the tyres were that cold. So well, there you go. That's what happens when you do a different strategy and start on the harder compound of tyre. So the tyres do take a little while to get up to temperature. Now Oscar is showing up and move on us. We get a little hung up on the curve, and Latifi has a little. What is that straight line speed? With a damaged front wing, how has he found that amount of speed with no front wing? He's literally got no front downforce on that car. How's he going to go through 11, 12 and 13? As we go around 13 now, he should be slower than this. How is he not? He should be like 5 seconds behind us by now, maybe even 6 seconds. But now we're in front of him. Look, what is this speed? What is that straight line speed of the Williams? Honestly, I don't think we're running too high a downforce. I think we're running 10, 18 wings. I don't know if that's high for a power track or not. But Latifi comes into the pit lane to change a front wing. I think he's going into the red stripe soft tires. That is, I don't know why he'd be going onto the softs. Maybe you want to try to close the gap as much as he can. So yeah, soft tires is definitely a weird choice to go on to there. So now we're 3.5 seconds behind Piastri and the rest of the field as DRS gets enabled at the beginning of lap number 3. But as you continue to look at the leaderboard, we just continue to lose time absolutely everywhere. No matter where, well, mainly in the middle sector is where we lose all the time. I'm not so sure if they're running higher downforce, which could be the reason. As we make a little mistake at the last turn, then that could be a reason. Oh, that is definitely a reason why we're losing time. I just had a quick check with Mark just to see if we had any floor damage or damage to the car or whatever. I did check that a couple of times, especially when I went wide at turn 11. Nothing. Mark said there was no damage.
Our gap to the car in front is 9.0 seconds.
Well, that is a better Team Ryota considering what happened in the very first episode in the last game.
Okay, there appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating. We can confirm that it's an issue with our engine.
No! At least we don't have that issue anymore, so we can continue on with the rest of this race. Spoiler alert: there are no engine failures for us. I can confirm. So just quickly checking the status of Oscar Piastri. He isn't really getting any closer to the cars behind, because all of those cars, even in a slipstream chain, he's finding it a little difficult to make any progress. He's not really getting any closer to Alex Albon in the other Williams. Lap 8, as you can see, the gap is already at 11 seconds after lap 8, so we're losing I'd say about a second and a half every lap. Or something like that. Just quickly looking at the leaderboard to see what our pace was like. 36.2, 35, 35, 35. So yeah, our pace is it's okay, but I reckon we can be a little bit better, probably about mid to low 35s. Our previous best was a 35.1, which we did at the end of a lap 10. We're on lap 11 now. Just going through turn 11. But yeah, right now, lap 11, and the gap is 15 seconds, so we've lost 4 seconds within like a 3-lap period. At this point, the AI should be starting to feel the effects of tyre wear, where you would think these hard tyres would come into effect by now. But as you can see, as Kevin Magnussen, Valtteri Bottas, and someone else, I think it might be Alex Albon, that's made their first stop. We can see that the gap back to Oscar, or in front of Oscar, is 16, close to 17 seconds. So we're still losing time, even though these hard tyres probably should be coming into effect by now, because our pit window doesn't open for another 4 or 5 laps, or whatever. So we can continue to push on, and as everyone comes out of the pit lane, they're going to be suffering from cold tyres as well. As we see right here, Pierre Gasly, he's just come out of the pit lane on hard. His tyres are going to take a little while to get to temperature, so we comfortably get past Gasly. But however, the AI at this track are still pretty strong and I found out during this race. Mick, he's also come out of the pit lane on hard tyres. Let's see if we can just stay with that. But look at the speed from turn 10. We're like 3 tenths behind, and now he's like over a second in front of us now. We were using a lot of battery just to try and stay with these guys, but we were just depleting our battery pretty quickly. Kevin Magnussen getting past us as well into turn number 1. Someone else came out in front of us. I don't know who that was. I couldn't quite see on the leaderboard. Someone just made a stop. It might be Yuki Tsunoda. If you look at the minimap, it is Yuki Tsunoda. As he tries to get a move on Mick Schumacher, but Mick is on the warmer tyre. He gets the job done. Now we're fighting with Kevin Magnussen. His tyres are now up to temperature. He should be getting past me pretty easily, but we shut the door on him, and we hold stations in front of K-Mag for a little while. Yeah, to be honest, I'm pretty happy that K-Mag is back in the spot, replacing Nikita Mazepin in real life. And to be honest, when I was thinking who's going to take that second seat at Haas, I was thinking Enzo Fittipaldi would have taken that seat, but no, Kevin Magnussen was the surprise return of this season, and probably the best comeback story I've ever seen for quite some time. But K-Mag now gets the clean run. Passes us into turn number 1. Because we didn't have any DRS off of anyone. Now we get DRS off of K-Mag, but Gasly has DRS on us. We're going to leave him a lot of space into turn number 4. Does he have the grip? We get the flowing run around the outside, and yeah, we just about hold on. He thought about it for a second there, Gasly, but the door was very quickly shut on him as we approach the SS. End of lap 16. Our pit window is actually open right now, so we can choose to pit and go into the medium tyres, or we can potentially do one more lap, see if we can get make up any more time. I don't think we're going to be making up any more time on a set of tyres that have been on since the very start of the race. Very cautious into the pit lane. Don't want to be getting a penalty of some sort. Yellow flag on the main straight. That might have been for me, just cruising into the pit lane. Automatic pit stops now. Got to judge when you turn in. We got that pretty optimal, and out we go.
Job on the turn in there, mate. Looks like a nice time. We're happy with that one.
Thank you, Mark. And now these medium tyres, unlike the hards, should get up to temperature pretty darn quickly. Hopefully that is the case as we go back onto the track now. Getting through the middle sector is probably going to be a nightmare to go through with these the tyres are stone cold. So you can see we're weaving all over the middle straight on the way to turn 4, and now the tyres are slowly coming up to temperature, a little bit wide of the second time at turn 11, and we continue on. Just we tried to push. Now we're literally now trying to push and see if we can catch up to the back of the pack before the end of the race. But we do need to keep an eye on fuel. Fuel burn has been a little bit of an issue this race, and we might have to do a bit of fuel saving just to get to the end. Two cars that are not going to be fuel saving is the two Red Bull cars of Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez. A good old-fashioned teammate battle. Who comes out in front? Sergio Perez at the exit of turn 3, but Max crucially again gets the DRS. How's this fight going to work out? Max is on the outside at turn 4. He's still going to be on the outside for the first part of the chicane, but can he get them done? They're still side by side heading into the chicane. This is a great battle between the teammates, and I think they're still side by side as they head into turn number 8. Round turn 8 they go. This is only losing time to the Mercedes as Max he's got the inside for the double right-hander. Oh, Checo's made a mistake. He's made a mistake at turn 10, and I think he might have got up onto the curb. Let's have a quick look. Yeah, he's basically done a me and got up onto the curb, which is very, very, very easily done, as I found that out. And the reigning world champion is back, or he is now in front of his teammates. Lap 21 now. We can see the Ferraris just coming around the last turn as we enter the first turn for the 21st time of this race, as Leclerc sets the fastest lap of the Grand Prix. We are still like 2 seconds a lap behind. Or lacking 2 seconds a lap to the leading cars which are in front of us, and there is a fear that we might get lapped with 8 laps to go in this race. Now we do need to be saving a little bit of fuel, because if you look at the fuel mix, we are in the red zone, well, briefly, but we are lifting and coasting to try and get to the end. Now I was questioning what was going on with the TV, and Mark's about to tell us what is going on.
TV behind. And the gap behind us is 41.8 seconds. Okay, they're on old hard tyres. Their tyres are 6 laps old. We think they've got one more stop. They seem to have an issue. Time last lap was a 1:34.3.
6 lap old hards, and he's had to do another stop. That is interesting. That's something going on at a turn 8. That's the Red Bull of Max Verstappen, I believe. He's got some sort of problem, I think, and he's pulling off to the side of the road at turn 9. I think it is Max Verstappen, the reigning champion, is out of the race. With what? He's slowing down. There's some sort of issue with that car. The Red Bull powertrains have already come to a halt. Already, these things are already looking like real life. Safety car is deployed. The safety car is deployed, and this could be an open invitation for us. I'm actually pretty tempted to come into the pit lane and maybe put on a brand new set of soft compound tyres. However, we will lose time we will basically lose another pit stops time to the other cars in front of us, because it's 20 odd seconds or 28 and a bit seconds. So now I actually did come into the pit lane because I wanted to see what we could do with the set of soft tyres. Brand new set of soft tyres going onto the car. Now let's see how quickly we can get to the back of the pack. Now because Leclerc has caught up to the safety car, means we can go full blast and catch up to the back of the pack. However, I don't know what's going on. Oh, my teammate is out! Oscar is out as well. The second Red Bull powertrain engine that is to retire, and that looks like something technical. We're going to go for an onboard and let's see what happens to Oscar. But boy, oh boy, let's see an onboard. Something just stopped as he came out of turn 11. So if you look at the mini-map, I think that's Latifi, who's a lap down, going through turn 14. We're just coming around turn 8, and as the leaders are about to start lap number 27. So this could be, I don't even think we're going to even make it to the back of the pack, because I don't know how much longer the safety car's going to be out. So the field's going through turn 3, and the back of the pack's just come out of turn number 3, and we were just coming out of turn 14. Now, because they've had to go a little bit slower through the mid-sector, that could help us a little bit. However, it is lap 27, and I've got at the back of my mind, I've got a feeling that the safety cars are going to be coming in at the end of this lap. We're so close to them now. We're coming up towards 9 and 10, coming out of turn 8, and they're going through all the high-speed stuff through 11 through to 14, and the safety car is coming in at the end of this lap. We have to push now. We've already taken a bit of energy out of the tyres. Just try to catch up to the back of the pack. We've saved enough fuel to get to the end now, but I'm hoping that Leclerc can just slow down a little bit so they can give themselves a bit more time, a bit of time to go from the last turn all the way down to turn 1 as fast as they can. But they're not even slowing down. They're at the last turn. We're just coming onto out of turn 14 now, and the safety car is now in the pit lane, and they're racing. We've missed it. We've missed the chance to get up to the back of the pack by about, what's the gap? Like 6 seconds. 6 seconds to the back of the pack, and we've missed out on a chance of maybe getting any positions. However, those hard tyres are going to take a little while to get back up to temperature if they have lost some temperature. As we're asked, we can already go full pace. We're going to use as much of the track limits as possible, and the gap is now already under 2 seconds, so maybe, just maybe, we can maybe nag 1 or 2 spots. However, about now, I think they're going to cover the temperature as Vettel makes a mistake. Vettel makes a mistake at turn 9 and 10. We cut turn 10 because I wanted to avoid any kind of contact approaching back markers. That would be Nicholas Latifi, who's had a bit of a shocker. He actually made a second stop onto another set of softs, and he's gone onto a pit stop onto hards, and he pitted under the safety car for a new set of mediums. So you see, he's had a shocker. Last lap now of the Grand Prix. Can we make a last lap attempt to maybe overtake Stroll? Stroll might be the last bloke we overtake in this race, because I think Albon is probably a little too far back, and maybe those hard tyres are now up to temperature through turn 4 for the final time. And from here, we have to try and stay as close as possible, but I think we've already taken the energy out of the tyres. Didn't quite get the run through 6 and 7 like I wanted. 1 and 2 through turn 8. We're just trying to stay as close as we can, but the traction that the AI get out of 8 and 10 is absolutely ridiculous. We throw it into turn 10 and we've just overshot the mark. I tried to push that one opportunity, and I think that one opportunity is gone. Charles Leclerc wins the Bahrain Grand Prix and the season opener as we run wide through the last turn and up to the line. It's 18th place. Not the greatest result to start the season.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
Yeah, that race was a little bit sloppy, to be honest. Well, I think the strategy cost us a good result today, starting on the hards, but we tried something different.
That's it then for another spectacular Grand Prix here in Bahrain, and a real champion's drive to take the win. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
Looking at the podium, you can see that red suit familiar to fans across the globe. A world-class win for a world-class team. Ferrari, do it again.
Well, Ferrari and Leclerc on top, almost like in real life, and that podium, I swear to God. This game could not get as realistic as it is, I'd say. Boy, imagine what happens in the next episode. It's Saudi Arabia. So the first major shake-up from last year, Saudi Arabia was the second last round in last year. Now it is the second round of this year's game. So I can't wait to tackle that. And I'll tell you what, I cannot wait to literally get into Saudi, because I just love doing laps around Saudi. It is so satisfying. And I'm literally excited to go there. In terms of our first race, we tried something different. It didn't really work out. I don't know if it's setup wise or whether hards didn't really come into phase during the late stages of the medium compound stints. For those that started on the medium, for those that started on the mediums or whatever. Yeah, but we were going to be at the back anyway. It was we had a big outside chance of scoring points, or probably a slim chance of scoring points. So I thought, let's just try something for this first race, and if it doesn't work, then at least we know that it can be done. But we'd have to get the resources and the upgrades getting on the car, make this car towards the top in order to try that strategy. It can definitely work. Absolutely, it can. We just need a faster car to do so. But that's been the first episode for today, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed the race. If you did, as much as possible. I know it was a bit of a shocker, but as you say, we're a back marker now. This is going to be what it's going to be like. So if you'd like to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, I've come across this stat that a lot of people, or a lot of you guys, watch my videos but aren't subscribed to the channel. I'll get that stat up another time. But yeah, if you're not subscribed to my channel, please do. It'll really help me out a lot. And yeah. And also leave a comment what you thought of this race below, and what else you want to see in F1 22. So this is I actually did this race day 2 as the game got released of the Champions Edition, because it was getting a little late in Australia in day 1, which I did qualifying, and then I did the race day 2, and this is what, day 3, day 5, 6 or whatever. So yeah, I'm a little bit behind everyone else at the moment, but hopefully we can do more videos a little bit more rapidly, and hopefully that is the case, and maybe we can get 3, 4, maybe 5 seasons of F1 22 depending how quickly we go through these episodes and how quickly we can get them up. But thank you for watching, guys. Subscribe to my channel, like this video, leave a comment on what you on your thoughts down below. Until the next one, guys, the second episode for the Saudi Arabian Grand Prix. I'll see you guys next time.